I'm extremely privileged that today we have Mr. Avilash Dwivedi sir amongst us through online. He is a General Manager CSR, Mahindra and Mahindra Limited. As a passionate CSR and sustainable professional, Mr. Avilash Dwivedi leads the CSR functions of Mahindra Limited. He is a certified social accountability auditor and practitioner on international sustainability standards, including IFSC performance standards and GRI frameworks. His vast experience includes grassroots level management, research, grant making partnership, and stakeholder engagement across civil societies and global cooperation in mining, metal, power, and construction sector. Being an ex-gentleman cadet of Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, Sir actively engages in mentoring young talent for fostering leadership qualities in his personal capacity. Sir, your presence is a moral boost for us. We are waiting with full of excitement to your motivational words.
Brain, it's not just as a manager, but even as a student, you would come across similar kind of situations. Lot of assignments coming down, one not yet completed, three more in the line, strict deadlines. I'm sure all of you have gone through that. And at the same time, sometimes, God forbid, health not keeping well. Those are the situations where you are really tested on your resilience. Right from the time when you realize what you need to do, the word resilience comes into each one's life. It doesn't wait till you enter into a corporate world or a workplace to realize that. So what do we see and what do we look at as a young manager? When you transition from your academic world into the real world, academic world obviously prepares you. It's the foundation which prepares you to face the world. But at the same time, how do you look at these things from a perspective of what great thought leaders have told? And what do I have felt in the course of my journey so far? Self-awareness. Understanding yourself is the key. If you know yourself well, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know what are the opportunities within you and how to overcome them. That's the basic thing which you can start off in order to move in that trajectory. Secondly, acceptance of reality. You have to be there to understand that yes, there will be certain things which will come your way, which you may or may not like, and it may come on your face and show you a kind of a mirror which you won't want to see at all or believe at all. It may be mostly a kind of blind spot about which you may not be aware in terms of your abilities. Accepting that, believing in that, and staunchly working towards that is one more critical. Challenge your comfort zone. I've seen young managers when they get into the initial organization, they start working on a particular aspect of the work, and slowly you start building your competencies in and around that, moving further, and your beliefs, your notions revolve all around that. And the moment you are asked to get into a different kind of a role or a different kind of an opportunity about which you haven't ever looked at, there comes a chance where you say that you may feel that this is not something which I would like to do. So somewhere there are some things which is nice to do, and somewhere there are certain things which I need to do for an organization. So aligning yourself and definitely moving out of your comfort zone is very, very important. Passion and compassion. You may be individually working with no reportees, or you may be working with various team members, or tomorrow you grow up to have team whom you have to lead. Passion for your work, leading from the front, and showing compassion is very, very important. My friends, let me tell you, there are two kinds of bosses. One, whom the team feels shoot at point blank range. The second being for whom the team feels to die for. This particular thing will take you places and will make you feel proud of your team as much as your team will feel proud of you. Solve and improvise. As I said in the beginning, this is the word of VUCA: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. You have to keep solving and keep improvising. Uh, any solution which has worked in the past may or may not work now. So you need to completely keep moving, reinventing, and seeing things that how they have worked in the past, they may not work the same way. And that's where I would recommend two books for all of you. One by Michael Watkins, The First 90 Days, as you move out of your institution and into organizations. Just go through this. It helps you prepare yourself more. And in your journey of being a resilient manager, this could be one of the things which I would strongly recommend. And secondly, 5 years, 10 years down the line, when you think you really blossomed into being a very good manager and things you have been doing, and then you want to take a leap into the or shift your orbit. This is where this one more book by Marshall Goldsmith. What got you here won't get you there. You might have done something in the beginning of the first 5 years, 10 years of your career, but you might have really been doing great things. But were you lucky, or we really have proven yourself? That happens when you start looking at this, that what got you here won't get you there. Now I have a question. Do brands make managers or vice versa? And I'm putting in few brands in front of you. We'll be happy to have few people sharing their views on this. In case there's a chat box and people can write something on the chat box, it's fine. Or anybody wants to say something, answer to this question. Do brands make managers or vice versa? Anyone? Or maybe you can pass on the question to the master of ceremonies, and if the master of ceremonies can give an answer to anyone making a comment on this particular topic. Do brands make managers or vice versa? The word silence is golden, but yeah, it won't work as gold. Anyway, if brands make managers, then or vice versa, whichever one you want to answer, then my next question will be: if so, then why things go out of business? A very famous brand in my childhood days, Parex, almost went out of business. Orkut, many of you might have heard about this. Enron came into India, one of the biggest businesses of America on energy and various other fronts. And most intriguingly, if you look at this list, I understand the font size is pretty small for anyone to make out, but if you look at the slide, basically what it tells is that in 1988, the Fortune 500 list of top 30 companies and 2007 Fortune 500 list of top 30 companies. General Motors was on top, slides to 8. Revenues grow by half. When Walmart picks up, goes almost 4 times what General Motors was then. Many of the companies are out of the list. Some of them are out of business. Everybody had the best managers. Everybody was a great brand by itself. Then how did things didn't work for them in terms of numbers, in terms of what they achieved, and in terms of sustaining their brands, if we look at. So whether a brand makes a manager or a manager makes a brand, it's debatable. But the point is, as I said in the very beginning, if we are self-aware, we know how things are going to come and we are prepared, we are ready to come out of our comfort zone, it makes sense. Kodak made the digital camera in terms of inventing it, but they didn't get into this business and they kept moving their color films business. And others started picking up digital camera business. One live example of how they work from the invention which they themselves made. Can anybody say who this person is? May I request the MC at least to give the names if we have some answers? Can anyone?
Yes, anyone know this person? Anyone can answer? What?
Is there a way people can respond?
Sir, her name is Sudha Murthy.
Wonderful. Okay, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, Sudha Murthy. While some of you may know, all of you may know, but I have to narrate a story about Sudha Murthy. There was an ad in job advertisement in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And the job ad was by one of the big brands of India, Telco, today known as Tata Motors. And the job opening was for only male engineers, not female engineers. Sudhamurthy writes a letter to J.R.D. Tata, questioning the decision behind this job ad and why women engineers can't make it. And the rest is history. Thousands of women engineers so opened up because of this person. So my question again remains: do brand makes managers or managers make brands? Think about it. Today she's into a different league altogether, from business moving into philanthropy and doing development work, but yet being very humble about what she does. Now this is even more trickier. Can anyone name or at least narrate anything they know about this person? Brilliant answer. May I know your name? Sorry? Linda, why don't you tell a story in case you know about it? Okay. And what has she done? Her story is pretty amazing, inspiring, that she's born on 14th of November, Children's Day, 1948. She was called Chindi. In Marathi, Chindi means stone piece of paper. She was an unwanted child, had a very troubled childhood, got married. When she was pregnant, husband deserted her, couldn't the child couldn't survive, and then she would go and beg. Today she is called the mother of orphans. 1400 plus children. She's mother to 1400 plus orphans today, and it's not important whether we know the name of the organization she leads or is she having an organization, but in itself, she is an epitome of resilience for us. Recently got the Padma Shri. Can anyone name who this gentleman is? Come on, young Turks. I need a more agile answer from all of you. Okay. Vikram Sarabhai. People joked and laughed that India won't ever make it to the space. And here comes the man. He demonstrates many things which the world has to watch and bow at. ISRO, you name it, you have it. All these people you think haven't been resilient, they have been resilient in their way. So I would go back to say that these people in itself have been brand ambassadors for what they did and the organizations they were part of. And lastly, my favorite, didn't have a great team when he walked into play in the World Cup 1983. 2011 had the best of stars. 1983 didn't. Nobody gave the Indian team a chance. You think they didn't have their challenges? They did. Even greater challenges. Leading the nation on the world stage. Enormous pressure to deal with. So what are they? Inspiration for us. You have a person from the corporate and philanthropy. You have a person from the social side. You have a scientist with us, and you have a sportsman. All normal human beings like us, but inspiration for us today. And they have managed things in their own way. So they have been managers. So let's not get carried away by that terminology. What's important is for us to understand that they have transitioned. Sudhamurthy, a young budding engineer, writing to JRT, having that courage at that point of time to challenge a decision of the Tatars that why won't women make it? Sindhutai, mother of orphans, somebody making it in space and somebody getting. Can anybody tell me the story behind this? This is my last slide, and I would like to hear from you. What does this picture depict? Anybody knows the story behind this picture? Anyone? Okay, let me give you a hint. It has something to do with strength. As you grow in life, intelligent quotient IQ is fine, but when you get on to EQ and other things, that will be the most essential things as managers which you need to have as you grow up. And that's where many a times you may have to coordinate, manage, and get things done rather than doing things yourself. And your teams will look up to you for one of these reasons. Give them the strength. This is a story of a boy of Japan. It's World War II time. And as you can see here, there's something strapped to his body. And there's a small boy who's strapped to the body. And the boy is his younger brother who is no more. He's standing just near the funeral ground and waiting for his brother to be to perform the last rites. And if you can see, you Google, you'll find his lower lip. He's biting into his lower lip, and the blood is oozing out of his mouth. And he's biting it to make sure that he doesn't cry. One soldier comes up to him and says, "Give it to me. I'm holding it for quite some time. You must be tired." The boy replies, "He's no cargo. He's my brother." This picture in Japan is the symbol of strength. This will be very essential for all managers who have to be resilient in difficult times. When things don't go your way and the chips are down. And lastly, this must be synonymous to all of you. I don't have to mention this. But again, what's this all about? Bounce back. Trust me, my friends, knowledge will help you initially, but after some point of time when you grow in life and you have to look at larger, you have to look at the big picture. These things which don't seem so important initially, would become the bedrock of what you do going forward. Bounce back. Few days before, when Dr. John was reaching out to me, I was jobless. He knows it. But then every time things won't go your way, you have to remember you have to remain strong and you always have to bounce back. And that's what will make resilient managers as brands, so that And whenever you go, wherever you work, and when you leave an organization also, you move as a good brand ambassador of that organization you serve or that organization you are part of. Once again, I would like to thank the Institute for giving me this opportunity to engage. Thank you very much. This is my LinkedIn. If anybody wants to connect, happy to be connected. Thank you very much.